So welcome, everybody, to our mastermind call. Anybody else want to say hello?
Good morning, everyone.
Wow. Good morning. Good morning. All righty. We're excited about, well, I'm always excited. And kudos to Chantel for reaching out to Coakley. And I read what you said, that they were doing fine with the little, well, not little, I don't know how bad it was, hurricane. I know we have family members that was displaced for a minute, and but they're back. Everybody's good now, because you just cannot predict the weather. What's going to happen? How is it going to happen? So we're excited about all the great things that are happening, and the fact that you were able to reach out to him and everything is cool, and let us know that was good. And that's what I really like about our group page on Facebook. If you're not a part of it, Chantel can put you on. She can take you off too. So remember,
I was a sergeant in arms in my college. Okay, I'm just saying.
so remember,
she can take you out.
Business page. She can take you off. And so if you want, because we do have another thing too. I'll just let everybody know. We do have a group praise also, that I know a lot of times when people want to have the team pray for family members, we don't want it on our group business page, but we do have a group prayer page that you can get put on that, and then people will ask for prayer, and sometimes great songs are posted, or just praise are going on. So that's really a good praise. Testimonies are on there. And so that's a good thing if you want to be part of that, because you want to be able to, text and let everybody know when you need prayer and what great things are going on in your life. So that's a good group page to be on. And just shoot Chantel a text and let her know you want to join that. And she'll put your name on that one. And then that way you'll be able to get to be able to say what you want to say. For a minute there, we had folks, they were just on a roll. Oh, and then another thing, our group page is only for Surge 365. It's not for someone trying to sell things. We had other people that would come on there and try to sell their product, but no, it's all about Surge 365. So remember that. And also for our praise group, it's all for that too. It's not for you trying to come in and sell us your potions and lotions. It's for something totally different. And you can figure out a way to go and sell that on social media. I was listening to a comedian's life story today, and that's what he was saying. When he first started, he just did it himself, because nobody was allowing him to do anything. So he started taping his own little specials on Instagram, and right now everybody's trying to put little videos on TikTok. You got people using that like they're movie producers, and putting little short films up on there to get recognized. And so it's so many different creative ways to get out there and be seen, if that's the way you want to do it. And so take advantage of different things that come to mind. And when you ask the question, what should I do? How should I do it? That is a good thing to do, because there's so many ways now. I could think way back in the day when people were selling CDs out of the trunk of their car, and they had like a little CD burner. So the musicians would burn, hundreds of CDs, and then go to the park and be playing their CDs and selling them. Matter of fact, that's how we met one of our very, very good friends right now. We were walking down Venice Beach, Joe, and we were walking down Venice Beach, and his friend, Terrell, was selling his CDs. And so she just looked so cute to me, and Rick's walking ahead of me with the kids, and I'm just walking around. And if you ever walked on Venice Beach, every corner there's something to look at and go, wow, oh my God, what's that? I mean, the beach is really crazy. So I'm walking down Venice Beach, and I'm just looking at all the people, and we walk past the part where the guys, they're lifting. There's an area where the guys are lifting, girls are lifting. There's an area where people play basketball. There's people going around skating. I mean, it's just something going on constantly, nonstop. And here's this one little girl standing there. I have some CDs and it's real good music. And I don't remember all the words she was saying, but she said gospel. And I went, oh, okay. Well, let me go over here and patronize. So I walked over to her and I said, okay, I'll take a CD. And she said, okay. And I think they were like $5, $10. So it wasn't a big deal. So I think I bought about 2 from her. And she's like, okay. And then we started talking, and Rick turns around and he sees me talking, and he's like, what is she doing? So he comes back with the kids, and we start talking to her, and it just led to a real great relationship with, at the time, they were just getting to know each other. So she introduced us to him as her brother, but we learned later they were not brother and sister. But anyway, so that became a really, really good friendship. And it just went from there. So you never know how you're going to meet people and the different ways that people do things to be seen. So if you come up with a creative way, be it showing your vacations on Facebook or whatever is creative to you, if you want to go to the different fairs. Right now it's summertime, so there's a lot of different fairs that people go to, and you can, if you have a craft that you want to sell, and along with giving out your vortex. So whatever you want to do, just do it, because that ended up being a very, very good relationship with Joe. Joe came into at that time, it was the other company, and he brought in, oh my goodness, so many people. And one of the persons that he brought in was Jackie. And when Joe decided that he wanted to venture off and go to do something else, Jackie was like, no, I'm staying here with Rick and Brenda. So that was really good too. She did stay, and several other people. But I do remember point blank, Jackie was like, no, go ahead.
We brought in so many people through Joe.
Yeah.
We used to fly around the country, and we flew to New York. And is it Fat Joe, the rapper?
Yes.
We brought Joe. Joe turned out to be a Christian rapper and was ahead of his time creating YouTube videos. And just a creative guy. And little did we know. And we used to fly around the country. He was from New Orleans. And he's still good friends to this day. And it turns out that Joe is a genius. Joe actually starts other network marketing opportunities and develops compensation plans. And this all happened when he connected with us. It pulled out genius creativity in Joe Marcelino. And we flew to New York one time. Let me bring Deborah in. We flew to New York one time, and we had a meeting with the mob. The mob. And the Italian mafia. And of course, we didn't know that totally until we got into the meeting.
Sure.
And they wanted to hear about the previous company and travel. And Joe said, Rick, why don't you do this presentation? And so I did the presentation, and we took an espresso break. And I was like, okay, but we flew around the country doing presentations for major folks, AC Green. I mean, major, Robert Pack, basketball. I mean, little did we know that, of course, you stopped and you spoke to Terrell, and I'm like, Brenda, you always buying something. Come on, let's go. And then we came back, and of course the relationship began. And but little do you know the people that you're going to meet, and the opportunity that you have that will break them out of whatever box that they're in, and to not be fearful in sharing what we have. Joe brought 100. We ran a contest in the last company. And bringing in 100 people. Joe brought 100 people into the business in what, 5 days. This guy he's amazing, an amazing genius. But he brought 100 people, and it may have been even less than 5 days. I'm trying to remember, and beat the contest. And I was like, wow, this is just, it's amazing. But Joe didn't have a time. He didn't have a sense of like time, and so he'd be like calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he would
He's one of
have
those people that did not sleep.
He does not sleep. Have 10 people on the line and say, hey, Rick, I just want you to talk to them and just tell them a little bit about what we're doing. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. But of course, I'm not like, Joe, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing?
No, you was like, okay, hold on.
I was like, oh, okay, no, jump right into it. But we flew around the country. And you talk about meeting. We did a video shoot at Venice Beach because he would create videos for the company for travel, and we did a video shoot in Venice Beach, and on the bench there was a homeless guy, and he said, Rick, let's include him in our video. And so we included the homeless guy in our video, and the video was, I mean, he created some major videos. Then we went to was it Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles afterwards, and got something to eat. I mean, you talk about the people that you're going to meet in this business that you haven't even met yet, that you're going to meet, that will flat out change your life. And of course, Brenda, our life has never been the same. Joe brought in some major folks and contributed to, of course, the residual income and the commissions and the money that we make even to this day. And Joe had left the business and to start his own network marketing opportunity that's still going strong. And in fact, Joe wrote a book on marketplace ministry that is the book that goes along with what I'm doing in Better World Changes, and for network marketers. And it goes into, I wrote the foreword for it, and it goes into major detail explaining the concepts that we work with in marketplace ministry. And I would have never knew that this talent was inside this individual if Brenda had not stopped and listened to the Holy Spirit, not even knowing that she was actually listening to the Holy Spirit necessarily in the moment of time. But we haven't even met the people yet that we have something for them that they're looking for, and we are the piece to the puzzle that they've been struggling with. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow, that's good. Anybody else? You know, what's so interesting about that is that's how we just go by our day. And that's how everybody should go by your day. Because even if you, like the other day when you saw the gentleman who was trying to do a fundraising and you said, oh, you know about the fundraising. Oh, here's this address. Go here. You gave him your site for funding by travel so he could learn more about how he could use that with travel business. You have no idea what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So just go out, like I always say, make a friend, man. Just be friendly, just be kind, because there's people out there looking for what we have. But unless there's a way to get the information to them, then they'll never know. So just be kind, just be friendly. I like how I see all the different things on social media. I know Dawn does it very often. She does not mind asking people if they want to make some money working from home, or do they need to make money with an extra income. She did that. She even did for a while when we were in Colorado. She even was posting on Craigslist. She got some interesting characters on Craigslist, so I don't know if I go on Craigslist, but she was trying every avenue that came to mind on how to get out there so people can see what we have. You know, I really think, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's too late for that or not, but I really enjoyed that magazine, the Success magazine that we had that had Coach's picture on it. But then again, that was back in the day. The Success magazine had Coach's picture on it, and inside the magazine had a CD. So that was another way that people were able to, and folks would just leave this magazine. I remember Charlotte White, who lives in Denver, Colorado, somebody down in Colorado Springs, and just to let you know, it's an hour away from Denver, south, and someone in Colorado Springs at a Jiffy Lube had her magazine. How her magazine made it all the way down to Colorado Springs with her information and the CD in it, I have no idea, but the person called her and signed up with her, and she lives in Denver. And so that was a way where, again, you have no idea where your information is going to end up, who's going to get it. So you want to definitely make sure you just put that out there. But even for the magazines, I thought that was a great way. But now we would have to ask the question, are folks really reading magazines anymore? Because even newspapers, you know, we had the Gazette in Colorado Springs, and they've moved into another building, but they're not really that big, because the time you print the news for the next day, it's now old news, and everybody wants their stuff now, this second, you know. So that's why everybody's rushing to get everything done, when a lot of times you need to slow down and take your time. But even for what we're doing now, getting our information out, how do you do that? Word of mouth, I think, is still very, very powerful. There's no way around word of mouth. But figuring out what is the go-to, I would say, media or advertising or marketing that people are doing to get their information out to the masses. And even and I would doubt that, what was that one thing that one of those directors used to do? Leads. I don't know about leads these days, because I don't answer the phone if it's an unfamiliar number. So you have to wonder now if leads work. Because I'll say, if it's an unfamiliar number, if the person really wants to talk to me, they will leave a message. They will leave some type of voicemail. And then I'll see if I want to return the call to them, if it's not a familiar number. And even if it's a familiar number and I'm busy doing something else, if that person really needs to talk to me, they'll leave a message. Hey, Brenda, what are you doing? Give me a call back when you have time. You know, stuff like that. And so then I'll see that and call them back. But answering the phone now is a big deal.
Oh, you take a chance every time you answer.
You take a chance every time you answer. And even emails, you have to really be careful too. Emails come to you left and right, and when you open an email, you could put a whole virus on your computer or whatever. So you have to be careful, of course, on what you're using. And then again, you want to make sure it's something that people will look at, because different things, people don't open it anymore, and they definitely, with the phone, if it's an unfamiliar number, I don't think so. So find out. I know a lot of people put their information on LinkedIn, and for folks who are looking for stuff on LinkedIn, I know one of my daughter's friends, she was looking for a travel business, and I think she saw Rick's on LinkedIn or whatever, and then she asked my daughter, oh yeah, that's right, your mom does travel, right? And so then my daughter calls me, Mom, you need to call Taylor, she wants to know about travel. And then so then I call her, but really she just wanted somebody to put a trip together for him. She was not looking to do a business. So there's no telling what's out there, and even though she said she did, she really didn't want to do the work that it takes, because even if you just want to do travel, it's going to take work. And everybody right now, they're looking for something quick, fast, and easy. And I don't know if those combinations work. Not when you want a good foundation, you know, not if you want a good foundation of what's going on. Because to me, it has not worked. Now, I'm quite sure there are some people who will say, no, I could do this, you know, they talk fast, blah, blah, blah. But no, I think if you take your time, make a friend, find out exactly what they're looking for, you'll have a better result. And even if they just turn out to be a Vortex customer, at least they're a Vortex customer. And you're not trying to talk somebody into something fast that they really don't want. That's my whole thing. I'm not comfortable with talking fast and trying to get somebody to do something that they don't even know it's going to benefit them. And then they're dropping out in a month because it's not something that they want to do. Because there's a lot of people, $500, oh, that's not a big deal. Oh, yeah, let's do this. But they don't really know now that you have the money invested, you need to work your business. It's like, oh, really? I got to work it? What do I have to do? I don't want to do anything. Well, then they didn't understand what they needed to do. Because with our business, you have to work your business. You can't just sit around unless you just want the 7-day night stay. If you just want the 7-day night stay, sure, come in, pay your $99, and every 12 months you get a 7-day night stay. There are some people that want that. And there are some people who have the 7-day night stay and they're not even using it. So take your time and make a friend, be kind, and see what we have as far as our Service 365 business goes, and figure out what works for you on getting it out there, letting people see what we have, because there's still a lot of people out there who does not know what we have. They do not know. And so, I still have family members who like all of our vacation pictures and still don't know what we do. And I'll turn around and we have a cousin that we just hung out with for a whole weekend, and they're in Argentina and want us to put together a family reunion for next year. And it's like, well, wait a minute, don't you know we have a travel business?
I actually reached out to her.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I reached out to her and I said that, of course, we're in the business and that they travel quite a bit. And I approached it with the tax advantages and how we're able to get some great benefits, excuse me, tax-wise, with all of our trips being in the travel business. And she said, thank you, cousin, for providing the information. And gave me a thumbs up. So, I did.
That's nice.
Yeah, I did my job. And
yeah, that's good. And that's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
All you can do
is let them know.
there's no assertion, only attraction. And so as you was talking, I was just thinking about what has been most successful for me in building the business. And it has been chance and prayer. It kind of just comes down to chance and prayer.
And prayer.
I think what has been most successful for me is understanding the fact that that like attracts like, and that I can become that which I seek. A lot of people are trying to attract something that they're not, and it just doesn't work that way. They attract who they are. And I realize that in life, that you can just become, and then like will attract like, and you can just keep growing and keep growing, and you'll attract people at each level as you continue to grow. And that's in life, the way that life works. Like attracts like. And if you're in business, just become in that business that whom you seek. If you're looking for leaders, become that leader, that can share information with people, that leads by example, like Glenn and Chantel do all the time. Become who you seek. And like Glenn says, 10,000 hours, you become that expert. So be willing to ask yourself the hard questions Am I who I'm seeking? Am I walking in that path? Am I stepping out? And one of the things I'm realizing, with our move here to Charleston, and becoming who I'm seeking, they find you. These people are finding me. These people are finding us. And it's the most amazing thing. And here is the most amazing of the amazing. The skill sets that we learn as we become are the skill sets that people need, as we become, to apply in their lives. And so people will come to you not just for the business, they'll come to you for your skill set that you've acquired as you've worked the business, how you reach out to people, how friendly you are, all those other things. Right? That's the most weird, not really weird, but they're needing the other things, how you relate to people. And many of us on this line, how you counsel with people, how you encourage people, the skill sets of rehearsing, that building a business, how to communicate with people, whether it be nonverbal communication, whether it be written communication, whether it be your understanding of social media. It's like the skill sets that we acquire as we're becoming have value even more so the older we get. And because we're rehearsing what we're doing on a daily basis, years have been passing, 10 years have passed. I am a professional in the things that we have been doing for the business for the last 10 years, or more. And it's actually been more. For the last 20 years, you figure we came in this business in 2004. It was like, oh my God, what do we got to do? Right. And I remember we sponsored our first person, and Bill Hoffman said, everything begins with one, and then it multiplies from there. And I was like, wow. And wow, this is just amazing, though. We become different people. And we watch the folks on this call become different people and grow, in their skill set, in their understanding, in their wisdom. And it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey, but this is a journey, not a destination. Even though we're going somewhere, we're all on this journey. And as you continue to grow, you'll attract people to join you on this journey. Being down here in Charleston and the challenges that I'm facing, I have the opportunity to say no, but I don't say no. And you know what? The most interesting thing is on the other side of yes, I'm finding that it picks up the path of travel. I'm like, wow, something that you may not even think that is related to travel. On the other side of yes, the hound dogs will pick up the scent and the trail of greater in travel. Back to you, Brenda.
That's true. Anybody else?
Yes. Wow. I have loved what you're talking about today. Absolutely phenomenal. And what you were talking about at the beginning, I truly believe that it is all about a soft touch, a relationship, a smile, a sitting down at the table, breaking of the bread, because most of the people that are in our team have come that way, whether it was through a Bible study. I mean, we've been with some of these people, Deborah Smith, Adrian Tim, over 20, it's way over 20 years, right? And we've been in the company since 2007, but those relationships were way before that. And it has been just a journey of watching children grow up. Grandchildren are coming along. And we're spending time with people, and people are spending time with us. And life is happening with these people. Matter of fact, the one we brought on yesterday was one of those people that I met at the well, which was absolutely phenomenal. Such an impact that she just look, she locked arms with the sisters and wouldn't let go. And she says, wherever you go, I'm going. Even if it's to another state, I am going to be in contact with you guys because it's like family now, right? So you never
Hey,
know what a person is going to need
share
or
with them
what's
what the
going to
well is.
happen. The whale
Share,
is an
share.
encounter for those of you who are in Christ here, and most of us are. The whale is an encounter with God, with your Father, one-on-one personal encounter with God, and when you really find out who you really are, because He tells you face to face, and it is phenomenal. And so that's where we met Kelly. And I'm telling you, it has been so transformational. When Brenda was talking about that magazine, which is right under my bed right now, starting to pull out some of our tools, and it just brings so much joy to say we were there. We were a part of this. We were in Coach's Corner, and I'm pulling out my jacket soon. It's right up in my closet. And it's just the great memory that comes from that memory. And then I was going through some of our emails, and up popped in the saved messages, just precious messages, personal messages that Coach Tomer recorded with his own self, his own mouth, him on the camera talking to Glenn and I when we hit some of these bonuses, encouraging us. And I just sent those to my new email, and I'm sending that to Glenn because it is such a precious moment. Well, it brings you back, and there goes our AMG going right past me. Come on, somebody. Same color, everything, going down the street. It brings back those great memories that we have. And the reason we came here, we were traveling with our family. We loved Europe. We're not finished with Europe. What an impact that place made on us. What an impact. And we had a ball. We're going back. I love you talking about going down that Rhine River. We are going to do that. Yes, we are. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's nothing like travel. And it's nothing like finding out who you are. There's nothing like getting some quiet time and just talking and finding out who you are. There's a peace. Oh man, there's a peace that comes with that. So I could imagine you ladies was on such a high. You ladies was on such a high. Nobody could describe that. Nobody could describe that. It's one of those things where you have to be there. I've gone to different retreats like that where I could not describe it to you if I tried. You missed it, maybe come next time. But that, I bet that is exactly how that was. And when you meet somebody that you gel with so well like that, that's even another bonus. So I'm quite sure you guys had a great time at that event. And it just
Let
lets
me
you
add
know
this,
that,
Brenda. Not only, and see, we pulled this out of Kelly, had no idea. This girl is a genius. We're sitting on the phone just having a conversation with her. This was about 2 months ago. She actually came on one of our Zooms with Nick Nicholson. And this girl starts talking about Disney. I'm telling you, she lives within walking straight and going down the street, making a right or left, walking into Disney in Florida. That's where she lives. She moved there intentionally, running up out of Washington State because life had shifted for her. And she said, I got to get up out of here. Got over here, this girl knows so much about Disney, has a lifetime membership. I'm talking about this girl loves Disney. She is the one that will be putting our trips together. She is in the intricate details of Disney. And we were like, oh, here's our Disney specialist. But she is going to build up under her son, who just graduated from high school. I'm so excited. That was his name that popped up. And they're partnering together. Wait till you see some of these pictures. They're literally at Disney every day. I kid you not. I kid you not. So you never know what's going to come from a relationship and what is being introduced into both lives. Both lives. You know, everybody brings something. We're not the only ones bringing something. Everybody in here has something to bring. And if it's not in you, who do you know? Who do you know? Lucretia Daniels, I will never forget her. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Your grandchildren know people. Reach into those people that you know and ask that question. We have not all tapped into our warm market. There's no way you could have tapped all the way through your warm market yet. There's no way. There's a lot of it we tapped into, but the whole thing, no way. Ask the question. Put it out there again. Well, it may not be that sister, or maybe it's that brother, or brother or cousin. Who do you know that likes to travel? Who do you know that would like to earn an extra income? Just ask the question. Back to you, Ricky Brenda.
Hey,
That's true.
let me add this on to that, because a few years back, I took a tax course through Jackson Hewitt tax company, and the instructor worked with her sister in the training that taught us. And they were tax professionals, but her sister, or her sister-in-law, was a Disney fanatic. And I'm telling you, a Disney fanatic. She slept Disney. Her underwear was Disney. Her sheets. I mean, she was Disney. So when we connected in that tax class, I showed them the program, and she actually came on board to become a Disney specialist. And this is what got me when Chantel started talking with Kelly, who I had no clue she was moving down there to Disneyland, basically. But this is what happened. You have to move on it while you have a chance. So those tax professionals and our partner with the Disney specialists did not survive COVID. COVID hit, and you know what? That's that. So when that Disney thing came around again, hey, no time to waste. Let's get in there, get it done. Don't leave any dreams on the shelf. Back to you, Brenda.
Oh, that's true. You cannot, I like that. You cannot leave any dreams on the shelf, because the thing about it is, everyone should want to live their life to the fullest. So when they turn back around and they look at their past, they have no regrets. They can't say, wish I did that, wish I did that. Don't be a wisher. Make sure you live your life to the fullest, because you do not want to have regrets. You do not want to wish that you did something differently, or you wish that you took a chance and did this and that, because you never know where that's going to lead you. So when you meet somebody and it's just to say hi or whatever, even I can remember last year, maybe around this time, because we were still in Colorado, and we took a chance and we drove down to Florida. We didn't meet anybody, but we ended up we didn't drive down, we flew down, and we ended up having a great time. And we did not meet the person that we thought we were going to be meeting, but we just had a good time. And we enjoyed ourselves, and we took advantage of. So even though things might not look like they're going the way you're wanting it to go, but what around it looks good. What are you having fun doing? And we had such a good time, and we found all these great little restaurants, in a hole in the wall, as they would say. But the food turned out to be so great. We had a good time. We actually went down to a lighthouse way down in Florida, learned some history. So we just took that whole situation and made it a good thing. So whatever you're going through, just make it a good thing, and just know that you can enjoy it. And it's always going to turn out great, because you have no idea. That's one thing I love about this business. You have no idea who you're going to meet tomorrow. I got these little plaque things I just picked up off of Amazon, and it says, I can't see it. I can't think of exact words, but it's almost like remembering when you prayed for what you have now. So you're already in a situation that you prayed for, and now you have it. So when you can do that, then you can think back and rejoice and be happy, because, oh, wow, I remember when I didn't have this. I remember when I wasn't like this. And another thing, too, we have such control over ourselves. That's the one thing that I'm really, really getting into now and learning, because you know me, I'm all about learning something new. And you might not be able to control nobody in your house. No one in your house. You might not be able to say, do this, do that. And of course, out of courtesy, kindness, love, whatever, people will. But no control, but to yourself. That's it. You tell your hand when to lift up and grab this, to do that, to do this. You can do that, but nobody else. It's all under you. So when it comes to this business and you want to see it something done, you have to do it. You tell yourself, I'm going to do this. I was looking at these other people's, kudos to them, kudos to my buddy Chantel to get out every day and walk. They get up at 4:30 in the morning to work out for an hour and a half so they can start their day. I'm looking at their schedule. I'm like, boy, by the time I get out of bed, they done had a whole full day. By the time I'm getting up out of bed. But it's what they want to do. They control that. So it's like okay, we're going to bed at yeah, right. That's great. Are you saying something, Rick? Military.
I said like the military, before you what's that, Glenn? Before you start your day, we've already had a full day.
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
They're getting up at old dark 30 and going through
crazy.
Running and training and jumping and hollering and screaming and
what's that? Your PT, you have completed all of it before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Just getting up and just getting started. So find out what works best for you. If you're a morning person, then take advantage of that and do what you need to do in the morning. If you say you're going to get a certain amount of posts out, if you say you're going to do some research on what's the best way these days in 2024 to do this, to advertise this, to show someone this, because that chat GPT, if you guys haven't played around with that, y'all missing out. Because that chat GPT, it's fun. I'm not afraid of it. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's taking over AI.
I'm an expert writer.
But
so I'm an expert writer. I am an expert writer. I'm actually developing documents for business.
Yes.
And on ChatGPT, and for example, in some of the things that I'm doing now, we're working with big business, and we needed to create a non-disclosure statement for this company down here, and he's doing business in Canada. And in the business in Canada, they developed these shoes, these special slippers, and he's going to be their spokesperson. And so he needed a non-disclosure created for it. And so, of course, hey Rick, can you create a non-disclosure for XYZ ABC? I'm like, sure. And so they give me some of the basic information, put it in ChatGPT. And I got this expert document, right? And back in the day, it probably would have been like $5,000+ to write and create and to have someone develop. This is an opportunity that actually I'm using to create an additional income stream. I can do document creation of anything with just some basic information. And with the advent now of ChatGPT and AI, I mean, it writes whatever you say, whatever you want. And there was this process that was very, very complicated. And I'm like, you know what? I don't understand it. And so I said, can you write this in military mission terms? And that thing went and wrote it out like, oh, now I understand. It was something that you had said earlier, Brenda, when you was talking, and you was mentioning us coming down to Miami, and we were supposed to be coming down to Miami for this convention, and or this conference this gentleman was supposed to have, and little did we know it was canceled, right? And I may have told this story before.
No, we knew it was canceled before we came, but we had already booked our tickets.
But that's what I'm getting ready to say. We booked our tickets when we heard that they was going to do it, and used our vacation stay and used some reward credits to rent the car. Excuse me. So we used all of this stuff. And then, the guy was like, well, it may be on, but I may not. So I said, well, we already booked everything. And Brenda, you was pretty good. because you said we'll just go down and have a great time. And I was really playing off what you was going to say. If you had been, I'm like, but you was good. And so we came down to Miami, and with the right attitude. And of course, that's when we was able to rent the what was it, the Mustang, the convertible Mustang, for like nothing.
Yes.
And
yes,
so we touring around in Miami.
We went to that. You know what? And that's another thing. Let me share this. We had rented a car from Fox, which was off-site. And anytime you rent a car that's off-site, meaning it's not right with the airport, that could probably another 20 minutes, especially this is Miami, a lot of traffic, blah, blah, blah. So we canceled that. We pulled our laptop out, canceled that right there at the airport where the car rental centers were. And we looked up and we saw this sign that said Royal Blue. Never heard of a Royal Blue rental car place, but the little lady was sitting there by herself, just looking around, and there was a line everywhere. So we decided to walk up to see what Royal Blue was all about. Here you go. Not knowing what is in store for you, but just being curious enough to find out. So we walk over to her, Royal Blue. It's right there with all the other well-known car rentals. And it turns out to be all they have is Royal Blue Mustang. That is the car that they leased out. So they had other cars, but this is like their top of the line car. So Rick, of course, yeah, well, you got my BMW, you got my Porsche, you got my, Jaguar, and making a lady laugh. And she said, no, but I could put you in something I think you'll like. And we went, okay, we'll do that. I think what it was, $36 or something like that. It was
something crazy.
What she charged us.
Crazy
and then
low.
We went out there, and it was a Royal Blue convertible Mustang. and we just laughed at that because she was sitting there all by herself. Nobody was going over there and talking to her.
No lines, no nothing.
No line, nothing. So we just walked up and asked her, well, what do you guys have? And she started laughing, and we started talking, learned her whole history, kids, where they are in college, all this stuff. But see, that's what I mean about just thinking outside the box. Because we could have stood.
It's favor.
Yes, it is favor, Glenn.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah, that's our same story with that Mustang, that red Mustang we had for that convention there in St. Louis.
Nah, the Charger.
Oh yeah, that's right, the Charger. It was the Charger. And we got an upgrade.
The company car.
Yeah, we that was the upgrade we didn't even ask for. She just did it.
Right.
The company car Charger.
Yeah, that was
the
favor.
Company car. Mm-hmm. I know. I remember that. And see, when you walk like that and you just know everything's gonna be all right, that's how it comes out. It always comes out like that. We attract people that are like that. We attract people who want to talk, tell us their whole life story, laugh and talk with us. Even when I started talking about Terrell, when I saw Terrell selling the gospel tracks, I was attracted to her. She was a pretty girl. She was just standing there. Nobody was, gospel. Everybody on Venice Beach was walking by her like she had the plague. So I thought, let me go see what this young lady is selling. I'm going to go and I'm going to help support whatever she's doing. And look what it turns out to be. One of our best friends right now, And so when you move like that, you're going to always come out winning.
Brenda, everything begins with yes. The yes begins a process of favor. And no shuts it down. You don't even know what you don't know. Like they were saying, they say, you don't even know enough to be a skeptic. Right? You don't know. But with yes, it opens the door to a process. I know I was just listening to you, and one of the statements that I was thinking about is that even when they said this conference may or may not be canceled, even though it's like, well, you know what, I think it's canceled, but we already booked our stuff. But it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it. And
Yeah.
our reaction, even to that situation, led to we're going to have a great trip. The words of your mouth and the declarations of your heart, becomes manifest into reality. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it. Oh, we're going to have a great trip in Miami anyway. So, I told him, hey, I'm in the travel business. We'll come down there. We'll have fun. Just barely was able to meet with him, but that's all good. But we had a great time. We had a fantastic time. And that's how life is. We'll get thrown something, but we're always like, yes. And then it leads to favor. It leads to something. And the meeting that I'm having today, at 3 Eastern, I'm saying yes. And I know that it's going to lead to something. It's going to lead to favor. And so be careful when you say no, because it ends a process. Thank God he's in control, and sometimes he overrides it. But, in our spirit, we can say no because of what we think it is. And we have no idea.
Real. That's real.
Behind that door could be so much more.
Hey,
now, go ahead.
Just want to share this. Charles Nicholson has his call today, of course, this evening. We'll post that on the messenger page. He's going to be doing some new things. I think he's going to do a new training of some sort, and we'll get the information on that. But one of the things that popped out that he had to comment on, because you get on somebody else's Zoom, then you kind of have to flow with what they have, and they do things a little differently, and sometimes they do things a way that you were not trained to do. But they had their success. I mean, he's an ambassador. But at the same time, a lot of times we are careful about opening up for questions about some things. But, and one of the reasons, I think a couple of weeks ago, he had one of his Zoom meetings. And of course, somebody invited Pookie to get on the call.
Oh, not Pookie Dim.
Yeah, Pookie Dim. And Pookie, Mom always said, Pookie is how Pookie does. And Pookie would not shut up. Pookie took up all his time. I mean, it was ridiculous. So Charles came back the next week and said, look, don't invite Pookie Dim on this call. You qualify these people. You find business people or business minded people to get on here. Come on, it just makes sense. So we've always said that, you have to somewhat qualify the people. We had a partner that used to tell us that all the time. At first, we were kind of against it because we were taught go after everybody, but it's not so. We look for business-minded people or people that at least are trainable. The next thing, I think I sent out to some people a video of a recording of an interview with Byron Allen. And Byron Allen is a billionaire with success, but his personal story is amazing. If you have a chance, go on YouTube and listen to the interview that one of the Harvard professors is interviewing him about how he got to where he's at and his success in the entertainment industry and purchasing the networks that he owns, and how he did it, what it takes, the State of the Union. It was just so much good information. How he said he contacted 50,000 stations to pitch his idea, his show. Start out with a show of his, the Byron Allen Show. And he said out of 50,000, he may have gotten back 150 responses, but most of them, the thing is, he found that one person that had the juice, that was in the seat, who told him everything that was happening behind the scenes and how they were laughing at him and all this, that, and the other thing. The thing was, he was undeterred. He said 50,000 contacts he made, they all shot him down. It only took one to say yes. That corresponds. All this was the kind of week we had through the business and some of the information that was flowing, because it was the same thing. Juliet says the same thing. Chris Coakley says the same thing. You got to go through those numbers. 50,000, well, everybody's not up to that, but you go through the numbers and you will get some yeses in there from the right people. And the last thing, another thing that was put on my heart that I've picked up through my notes is that many are called, but few are chosen.
Good.
And if you're on this call, you're chosen. Believe it. You believe it. But many are called, but few are chosen. And that's scripture and it's real. Back to you, Rick.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We had one guy bring 7,000 plus people to the team. One guy. And I had reached that point where it's like, okay, it's not my family. It's not my community. It's not my church. It's not my friends. Like, well, who is it? Yeah. And but you keep going. You just keep going. You keep dreaming, you keep believing, you keep becoming. And that person, that chosen person, will show up. To go to, and this is a saying that came to me a while back. When you've gone as far as you can go, someone will come to help you get to the next level. Someone will come to help you. Some situation will happen. Some person, something will happen that will help you get to the next level when you've gone as far as you can go. But you got to go as far as you can go. And then, God steps in. So you just keep going. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow. I gotta jump in right here.
Go ahead.
Sometimes the person does not look like who you're expecting. It may not be anybody in your group. Come on, somebody. You just spoke that. We keep expecting it to be this. Oh, it's not the traditional way. Well, it's the traditional way working for you right now. Has that worked for you in the last years? Step yourself outside of that little box. There is millions and billions waiting on you, and you're talking about, oh, that's not our traditional way. Back to you, Rick.
I don't know if I think they're still on. I don't know if my earpods died. But yeah, that is so true. You will never know. You cannot judge people. But I do agree with what Glenn said. You know when you have a pookie nim. And make sure you do not allow them to disrupt, a presentation. But you might look at somebody, take example, what's his name? Sam Walton. Sam Walmart, right? Anyway, he owned Walmart.
Yeah,
he
Sam
would
Walton.
walk into a Walmart. Yeah, people did not even know who this man was. He came in there with jeans, boots, and a plaid shirt. Never knew how much money that man was worth. And so you have no idea. And like they say too, you could be talking to an angel. You have no idea who you're going to meet, who you're going to be talking to. So just make a friend. That's what I think that's the way to go. Because right now, everybody needs to have friends. Everybody needs to have somebody that they can call and say hi, just was checking on you, seeing how you're doing. That's important these days. That is so important. Wow. Anybody else?
Relationships.
Well, yes, it's very important because you might look at that person and say, oh, they got it all together. They dress sharp. They drive this. They da-da. That person is probably so unhappy because there's something missing in their life. And you would never know because you would never walk up to, I got a quick story. This one young lady was working at the Tyler Perry Studios. And everybody kept talking to her, telling her, don't look at him. Don't look him in his eyes. He don't like to be spoken to, blah, blah, blah. And so she said she found herself in the elevator with him one day, and she just said, good morning. And he went, good morning, how are you? And she could not believe that he spoke to her, but she said she could not stand that close and not say hi because that's not how her mother raised her, you know. So you don't even know that that's not even how he's a very nice guy, very friendly guy. She's been there for years, done moved her way up the ladder, and it was nothing like people said. People did not know. And so they just assumed. But no, you could say hi, he'll speak back, blah, blah, blah. So never assume that that person will be how other people are telling you they are, because you don't know. So just say hi. Rick does that all the time. I'm like, why are you waking up some people always slumber?
So that reminds me of a story. So
no.
Brenda, we went to the commissary and you went to the restroom. We went to the restroom. I came out before you, and we had our cart that was kind of right there while we went in the restroom. And so I pushed the cart, and they had a rib sale. And so I had the cart, but the cart was kind of out in the walkway a little bit. And because I said, oh, and I just went to the ribs and looking at them, and this older lady and her daughters, older African-American lady and her daughters, and she was coming by, remind me of my mama. She was coming by and she couldn't get past because my cart was kind of out there, but she kind of could squeeze past, but and so I turned around and said, oh, I'm sorry about that. And so I moved my cart over, and I'm telling you, she had that look that pulled this out of me. My mama didn't raise me that way. And it pulled it out of me. And she talked really in a really nice little man. I know that's right.
You never know. Like, you never know.
You never know. I said, my mama didn't raise me that way. And she said, I know that's right. Made me feel kind of good, but made me feel kind of bad, but made me feel kind of good.
Yeah.
Back to you.
But the thing about it is, she knows. She's like, yeah, I know, that's right. But because we know some people who, okay, you must have been raised in a barn, but that's a whole other story. But you just want to make sure you are, you're just nice and kind to people and say hi. People, it's amazing how people look up like, huh? Did you say hi? Because people don't. People just don't say
Brenda,
hi.
So the reason I actually brought that up, because I was listening to you and I was listening to everybody talking, it's like, like Chantel was saying, relationships, we are bridged to the next thing with our relationships. The people that I'm working with in Charleston, I didn't even know in Colorado Springs, but it bridged me to the people that I'm working with now. Even the guy that stood us up when we came down to Miami, I didn't know that would be the bridge to the people that I'm working with right now. Had I gotten mad with him and said, forget about it, I would have never been working with the people that I'm working with right now. So don't look at that person. Know that God's going to use that person to bridge you and to keep you going to your future. Don't cut it off right there, unless the Spirit tells you, but know that the possibilities that is a person that God is using you to bridge to the next and to the next and to the next. And that movement happens. That's why I tell people, if you feel like you're stuck and stagnant, make a friend, volunteer, and watch what happens. Back to you, Brenda.
Our culture has changed. It has shifted. Like you said, your example in the commissary, and it's important that we understand the younger folks' culture too. I mean, I'm still in the holding door open stage. A lot of times now, some ladies will get offended if you hold the door. Come on, well, I can hold my own door.
It's like, please, hold the door for me. Thank you very much.
Right, and then another one, a big one is you'll hold the door for a young couple, and the guys will push the girl aside and walk through and thank you.
Hey, this wasn't for you.
I did not hold that for you.
I told these guys that once before. I said, you're supposed to be doing this. And I said, well, this culture has changed. It has shifted. So it's just an eye-opening experience that
is so true, though.
But I be driving down the street and I'll see a couple walking down the street. And if he's on the wrong side, I'll be saying to myself, girl, you in the wrong place. Because he got her walking on the outside and he on his side.
Right.
Right.
You got that
it's
right.
It's true.
Yeah, I hate to see that, And you go to a place like Glenn say, and when I get in the elevator, if I'm standing there and there's a couple of men and maybe me and a woman or whatever, if that man gets on that elevator before me, I said, oh, Lord, help him.
Oh, Lord.
He didn't let me get on I'll be looking at that stuff.
I'm serious. It's true. It speaks volumes.